What's up, Saints? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I'm Ari Renette.
And I'm Taylor Morehouse.
And this is SFHS Today.
In national news, there was a school shooting in an elementary school in Nashville, Tennessee on Tuesday, March 28th. Audrey Hill, 28, killed a total of 6 people, 3 students and 3 teachers.
In school news, MORP was canceled on Friday because of winter storm warnings. It has been rescheduled for Friday, April 14th.
So softball is running MORP this year. We are doing a glow theme, so we've got some glow paint and black lights, and it should be a lot of fun. We've been preparing for it this week by getting some of the things made ahead of time, so that we've got glow paint, so that obviously has to dry, selling tickets during lunch, and we're just really looking forward to a fun night at MORP.
This semi-formal dance has been a long-running tradition at SFHS. In other news, due to the weather on Friday, buses were unable to pick up students who lived on unpaved roads because of icy conditions. Superintendent Karsten Anderson addressed the issue to all parents, apologizing for the late decision and lack of transportation.
However, in good news for Transportation Department, they recently received an award for their forward-thinking purchases of propane buses. Reporter Kylie Dustman got more information for us.
What finalized the decision to switch from gas to propane for the buses?
Well, I think there were a couple of things that made that decision easy. There was some new regulations coming forth involving the use of diesel fuel and things that we needed to do here with diesel fuel. And propane and the use of propane had changed over the years and made it easier and much more economical. There were some rebates given by the state and the federal government to bring in propane. So the switch was made, and we purchased about 42 brand new propane buses in 2015 they came, and we've been happy with them ever since.
What are the benefits for switching to propane instead of gas?
Well, the benefits are a cleaner environment. The buses are warmer, they run better, and it's much more economical.
Tell us about the award the bus garage won.
Well, the bus garage recently got a sustainability award from Lakes Gas and the Minnesota Propane Association. And the sustainability means that District 15 has decided to stick with propane. We've recently traded in eight of our original propane buses. We've purchased 8 new ones, and we have ordered 8 more. We've decided that the propane is the way to go. It's cheaper, it's better for the environment, and it's a sustainable fuel. So we're happy with that, and that's what we're going to stick with now.
St. Francis School District was one of the pioneers using this new technology.
Did you know the formula for propane is C3H8?
Nope! But our reporter Sam Asid went out and interviewed Mr. Weirman and Ms. Jarvala about some other things they teach. Let's take a look at the classes students are taking this trimester.
So what are some of the classes you're teaching this trimester?
Well, this trimester I have a few classes of chemistry, which is mainly juniors and seniors, and then I have one class of 9th grade physical science as well.
This trimester I am teaching Biology B, Biology 3002, so the second half of biology, and forensics.
And what are some of the bigger labs you're teaching in chemistry?
Well, we just did a cool lab in chemistry where we made acid rain in a little Ziploc baggie, and then we tested, or we put that acid rain on different kinds of things like apple skin and leaves and metal and stone, things that you would find in nature, just to see like what are the effects of acid rain on the environment that it falls on. That was one that we just did.
And with spring weather coming up, are there any plans to take biology outside?
Yeah, so every spring we actually take the students down to the Rum River, right across the street at the Rum River County Park, and we do water quality analysis with the Anoka Water Conservation District. So we'll do that probably in May after the snow melts. Hopefully the river isn't too high with all the snow that we have. So we do that in the fall, and then we do it again in the spring. And it's something we've done for several years now.
And with forensic science still being a fairly new class, could you explain more what is taught in it?
Okay, so it's a one trimester class, and it's really an introduction to basic forensics, and we focus predominantly on physical evidence and what physical evidence can tell us and cannot tell us in the event of a crime, like fingerprints or DNA or hair analysis or soil analysis, document analysis. So we take several different kinds of physical evidence and we do a surface treatment, sort of a survey of what an investigative survey of that evidence and what it can and cannot tell us.
Do you think there's something special about chemistry that separates it from other science classes?
I like all sciences, but I focused on chemistry and physics classes. And I guess of the two, I really liked chemistry. I just found it really interesting. I liked mixing things together and seeing what happened to them. And I remember when I was a kid, I remember getting like a chemistry set when I was in grade school or something. And I just thought it was cool. And I had a good chemistry teacher in high school too that kind of encouraged me to stick with it. And I ended up doing that, so.
Hey, Ari, maybe you should take one of those next year.
I'm taking forensic science.
Now in more academic news, Kelly Lipinski and Matthew Norton took 32 juniors to St. Cloud State to compete in the Heartland Economic Challenge. A number of students placed individually and 2 teams are now advancing to the state meet. Reporters Reese Grisey and Emily Pipp got more information.
I'm here to talk about the Minnesota Economics Heartland Challenge that some of our students, about 32 of our students, participated in last week. And we took those students up to St. Cloud State University and they participated in a series of tests.
I took 2 individual tests along with my 3 other group members, and then we all took another test together. And that's how we got our final sum of 710 points.
That if their teams did well enough, they could qualify for a quiz bowl round.
So we were given questions, and there was 2 teams we competed against, St. Cloud Tech, and whoever buzzed in first got to answer.
My team placed 3rd place in the college and AP division.
And so we were fortunate enough to have some pretty strong teams, and we put one team each into the finals, and Otto Netberg, Henrik Lynn, Alec Tork, and Ethan Treber won the AP college level division.
My team got first place, which means we get to go to state.
And they will be traveling down to Securian Financial in St. Paul to their headquarters to participate in the state meet against some of the best teams from around the state.
Now let's pass it over to sports.
Hey Saints, I'm Brain Harris. And I'm Colin Dellis. And this is Sports. In national sports news, the men's college basketball Final Four was played this weekend with UConn beating Miami 72-59 and San Diego State beating FAU 72-71.
In school sports news, our track team hopped on over to Chisago Lakes for their first track meet. Let's see some info on that.
I think the track meet went really well for our first meet of the year. We had a number of strong performances. And Chisago and North Branch are good teams, but we competed really well against them. And it's an opportunity for kids to get out and compete early in the season and just kind of get their sea legs under them.
What events did you guys do?
At this last meet, we did the shot put. Unfortunately, discus is an outdoor only event, so we didn't get to compete in that.
I did shot, and again, disc isn't allowed in indoor.
Not having an indoor facility is a pretty big competitive disadvantage, and it's also, along with that, it's a community resource that we don't have that other communities do, and so sometimes I remind my athletes when we're going outside on cold winter days that schools like Chisago and Monticello and Becker are able to practice indoors, and being outside makes us tougher, but overall we're training in hallways in a high school, whereas these other schools get to practice in on an indoor track, on a competitive facility instead of hallways with lockers in them and classrooms along the sides and things like that.
We have a lot of new people, so from what I heard from just talking to people, it sounded like there were a lot of PRs, and in throwing, I know we had a lot of PRs.
For improving today's meet, we've got a young team this year. Our girls team has over doubled in size from last year. So we have something like 25 veterans and 35 people who haven't, who last week was their first competitive high school meet.
So in shot put, so at this first meet I threw 31-10, and my goal for the end of the season is 36 to 37, somewhere in there. And then for discus, my goal is 130 or so.
We're just looking for kids to try events, to learn how to compete hard and to keep pushing themselves, to improve themselves.
I threw 28-11, and I would say 32 is my goal for the end of the season. And then for disc, 125, and I throw like 107.
It's a lot of kind of improvising and making do right now because the weather is just going to be what it's going to be. And we're still training in winter weather even though we're a spring sport.
Wow, looks like they're on track to do very well this season. The track team also has a meet today at Monticello starting at 4 p.m. That's all we have in sports. Now back to Ari and Taylor.
Before we go, reporter Kylie Desmond went out and asked what people are going to do once the snow melts.
It's the random question thing. Ding.
What are you most excited to do when the snow melts?
I am ready to work on my garden. I'm ready to go camping and take some pictures outside.
I'm most excited to get outside, play some softball, go to the lake, tan, just go have some fun outdoors.
Take my old cars out and drive them around.
Probably go back to swimming in outdoor water parks or pools in general.
Well, I think from a work standpoint, I'm really excited to watch all of our teams be outside. I want to see the snow melt, so that'll be the exciting piece. I'm looking forward to that. Especially want to say a shout out to the softball team. Ms. Fryer wanted me to make sure I point out how great their season's going to be, and I'm looking forward to seeing that happen.
Well, that's if the snow ever melts. That's all we got for you this week. Stay safe, Saints.